Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Abusiafo, we are live on the Think Tank Show once again. Folks that always listen to us, I mean, this is the second time. Folks that listened to us the first time on the radio, we were having some technical difficulties, and our producer is working on it just as we speak. So, in a moment, we are going to be on radio. But for now, we are going to be on Facebook, the High Life Video Facebook, and the YouTube channels. So just tune in with us and we take it from there. Today, I am again with my ever dependable um, resource person, Nanaya Osari. We are going to discuss, as you can see on the screen, Ghana's national debt and how we should care about why should we care about it and how it affects us. Without much ado, yeah, let's start it. Now, over person will be introduced once again, Nana.
Yo, anyway, yeah, it's for after phone now. Bring greetings to all my listeners and then viewers wherever they are. Yeah, my name is Nana. I'm a regular panel member on the People's Parliament, Paramuka, every Saturday on High Life, and I'm privileged to be here again for the Think Tank show with Kwame, and hopefully as we go on the air, like you said, in the next few minutes, our listeners, wherever they are across the globe, will at the end of the day be able to get an understanding of these technical issues and then, I mean, come in and contribute, hopefully, and then we can all have a very good national discussion about the way forward. So, Kwame, thank you again for having me, and I appreciate it.
Pleasure all mine. Always nice to have you on and get what you want to let us know every Thursday. Um, let's just dive straight into it. Yakase national data. How can you explain that in a layman's language?
Yeah, Kwame, national debt, I mean, in layman's language, and I say, Ghana, it's,
Mm-hmm.
I saw Ufie na one a jam Ufie one na mba no mpla. Nti no,
Mm-hmm.
Kabia, as a jan, about national debt as I cannot, you knew, say, or mind dim. So, Ufie, I got to Kwame, Uber, Kwame, Woody, but no, but about national debt. Kwame Ufie, no bush, and say, from Kwame Bushia, or Kwame Bushia dim. So Kwame wɔ hɔ ɔni hɔ meba bi di abusuatɔ bi bi a ɛbɛyɛ kaa ma no ɛyɛ sɛ ɔyɛ de ɔhwɛ na saa kaa no ɔyɛ de ɔmanage na sɛ ɔyɛ de ɔhu sɛ na ɔbɛsɛ ɔde no nti no national debt ɛyɛ kaa ɛyɛ ma ɔman no nyinaa ɛnyɛ ɔmanpanyin bi ka ɛna ɛnyɛ individual ɔman Ghana na yɛfrɛ no the sovereign state. It's a debt in the name of the sovereign state that has to be paid. I mean, regardless of who's president.
Oh,
About the national. You have to conversation, you look at what constitutes the national debt. How does the national debt come to? And then how do you have to analyze the national debt? And why is it a concern when people talk about it? We look at all this as we get into the conversation properly.
well, okay. So, is it something that every country does, or Ghana na yedeka?
Oh, I can't be a country reality. And we just send my mom to now. I can't say what we are the one depends. Yeah, it's a car, right? It's a car. But so what who can use you it's a bit me at one year. Account who is the answer. No, who said you'll be doing that. You bit me up one, I had the papa. That's no mood dance and now you're reckless. You bit me up. You said, yeah, Uncle Paka, you said, well, yeah, the papa, no mood dance and found that and everything. In that sense, like I said, it could be many years so of Baka. But now that they cannot get it, it will be some depending on the situation, we are already coming we are but if you can so you are young or how you know most of the hammer your hammer in your house. So you're making a band saying you car a hammer, you car in your hammer.
I said, the minya feedback a free on mic into no let's try. Okay, you want to try again? I just say. I think it's quiet now. Oh, you muted yourself. That's why. That's why. If you can unmute it, then let me see. Yeah. Okay. So it's not a problem, say, on my medical. If that's what I got from what you said. Say.
No, it's no problem. It's no problem, Mama. So if I can't own you, it's no problem, Mama. It's no problem, I mean, you can just sleep about it and move on. But we take a problem, Mama. Just like we need to go about the same car, no, normal. If we want about the same car, so they are the same.
Right.
Cano, I thought yeah, say can't you know, a couple of problem movie, but the problem that's the problem. I didn't be sure, right? There's something
right
more other than just
it's as far as I know, that country they see the taxes near it, I don't know Ubi Kobobusen and Alcobobusen so why an Alcobobusen if you know. Who is that person or that bank that or Mauska say your Maya Okono Ekodebusen?
Yeah, Kwame, that is a very good question fundamentally. I think you say Chichi Mohamed of what I say, I can't cry then I can't. I say national I say Chichi Musa. You can national debt now, I can't a woman who broadly. You know, I say Chichi Musa differently not the Fabako and the send about one over. The other one is one year, and other one is really. Ever. The family woman for the yes, maybe a can a fever. You know, your national debt, primarily your reference domestic debt and your external debt.
Right.
Domestic debt. It's a car, if you Ukurumo, Ghana, and fancy, I'm for Ghana, much an example. The Ghana national debt, domestic debt, meaning IFI, I mean, 220 billion. We will sign a car, get them perform more Ghana. You will sign a car, you come on the Nico Bobusian. Until you come on the Nico Bobusian, you have out there.
Okay.
Yeah, a percent a ball Ghana. I find a boy, I come on any of the domestic debt.
Okay.
The composition, any of the composition of the debt, and so just to get you external domestic. On the return. If domestic, and I'm church, and I'm a Canada. We are another external, it's number 2 external. I can know the sort of the debt could be slightly different. Nti kwa make a domestic debt na domestic debt no. And no as I'm saying Ghana you tika you your friend is in cities. Right.
Cities, yeah. Ghana cities.
Ghana cities aka no yeah boy I am here boy Ghana city. But what I'm on here, you see that would be to fan call or the America America Abraham who they did $2 right?
Right.
I'm on a local car into make a bond in my local bond or then foreign currency. Now I say dollar. In this case, I'm using a dollar. Also, no bear work in the foreign currency. It won't be in the domestic currency. We don't say that. So, the domestic one, the domestic currency there. Kwame, I buy what we are not free. I buy the free cash flow. The cash flow. I buy the to Kwame. I buy the edit amount for na sa for no. And even I buy the every coin, every year into Juma, every year we ready to for every run the government machine. Inti Kwame, I buy the budget. I say I feel a 2% in Jama, 16%. You can't percent in over sources, the sources of the revenue. It America see the American taxes here from amount for maybe a local corporate see a better maybe a mini grant. Grant is car we did for and now donor funding, where I donor funding. That is a donor when you be or support to budget, if you percent Ghana buying with the cancer malaria or fighting malaria to the scar brown or budget and wait me call hospitals and wait me fighting malaria. To donor funding, big number of Sika. But so Fako and specifically and Franco baby, which match of the scan of a share through budget. Now, it's a buying say the budget spending their fee. No, you are such, they can no budget. I mentioned the first way this can of money. It's a buying another budget. My bank this can yeah. Maybe you are share, maybe and maybe teacher for can maybe allowance. It's based on a buying where we power need the policy. She can check I'm enough for filling the policy. 10% policy. Say can buy any trade the it took the a buying name buying person name and door to see can then Sabekano.
Right.
One big rubber $3. Now, so she can't buy them there. Actually, the $8. It's why I said $2 when I did not slow them and I taxes. Now, she never percent now, no boy $3. Into no, let's just say, come say, I didn't $3, not $2 when I did now. It's all for $1 and I can get if they be ever so. I'm so waiting there. $1. I'm only a first deficit.
Right. Before you withdraw or no, before you withdraw, maybe be a question back. It's domestic debt. No, hold on me about 1 minute. My producer some catch me about audio no. It's Mame 1 minute now. Me too, Mike, for now. with the a tip for viewers and listeners. If you were listening, we were having some technical issues with my resource person's Nana Yawasare's microphone. So he's going to try and get a new microphone. Say me chira okope akasamu foforo na ya hwese ano reta because near all kind is very, very important and it's very educative. And you know, we would like for you to really hear what he's saying. So if you have any questions, you can actually type it on your Facebook or your YouTube and just send it to us. And if you want to send us a question for our resource person, you can actually type it on your Facebook message or your YouTube and send it to us. So yeah, we're working on it. As soon as he's done, we will put him back on and the conversation will continue. Yes. Internet, I mean, you can share it. I think he's back on, yes.
Can try my computer, but
yeah, now you're back on.
All right, thank you.
I think it's better. It's much, 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 much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Producer is smiling behind the scene.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Yes. Yes, Inti Nana, you drew a. I also entreat all the viewers to share this link for other people to join us and listen to this very important conversation we're having. Inti Nana, we got to. Now me interjected and me bisao a question because say domestic debt no. I mean. Oh yeah, cried. Everything that's going on, money BBI say I buying a deba. So domestic debt, you know, why not? I buy a couple of free no Sam Jonah and I say who is giving I buying that much money?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Anytime I needed to let my viewers understand the basis of all this, so that they are end of the day will be much informed about conversation. Into now kind of domestic debt, you know. Into I mean, I'm sure be there from the cash flow. So I'll that into the domestic debt.
All right. So
I shall say, we catch up. I buy no Unyesika revenue or revenue, and we was spending the year to I buy no put to Juman of Petroleum. A doors and the Sikano is until you see the example, say, we are not buying a per or you put to Jumokan in Abu with a car or running government machinery or your infrastructure, meaning idea $3 and you use simple numbers to make it easy. $3. Now, Sikana of buying so business are feeling taxes or donor support, budgetary aids, any money or yes, a source of funds in our grants, they are $2 and $2. Into what I say, $2 are feeling them. Now, $3 also best spend a feeling them. I just a difference between $1, right?
$1.
If I'm not being there, it's not on the bank.
Okay.
$1 now, in deficit.
Okay.
It's not deficit. And so, with your financing, your man also, you know, because your man also pay $3. And it's going to be $2. $1 extra, no, I deficit. Who accumulates our deficit year over year? They are holding the domestic debt.
Okay.
That is one source. That is one source of the debt. The other side of it, you know, so $2 now buying the cash will be now. Can you any protect here and we bring us $2. And yes, sir, what's that $2? I have to go and look for $2. Maybe $2, maybe I mean $1 taxes. I saw the amount for taxes. I buy in January, yeah, $1 in taxes. To go to the people and tax them and collect it, and that means the government has to put some effort in collecting the taxes, right?
Right.
But there's a timing problem, and this is where finance comes in. There's a timing problem. But taxes also it be about 6 months from now. It be about 1 year from now. It be about, almost 4 months from now. But the government needs the ground. It's there now buying the say or issue instrument here from the treasury bills. Treasury bills. The treasury bills, they are buying the kind of say, I feel we should say now she can something here and this year. I feel so Who bet me Obi are going to be a wish it can be a down. Me says now the 3 months and now 6 months. Now what is kind of 6 months me the taxes now. Now me says can I be come out.
Oh, okay.
So the treasury bill.
Oh, the treasury bills in layman's terms is an IOU.
An IOU, right?
Okay.
Mom customers now move scatter or move financial move farm family. Yeah, but as somebody can affirm now, they're putting the money up front.
Oh, okay.
So government use that instrument of treasury bills to solve that kind of cash flow issues with its revenue.
Okay. It's so treasury bills are one of the way or the raises economy. And what else did you say?
It's the other one in American say sad deficit in the much I know how it costs debt. The other thing is to the year I buy no money at the account because near man are buying the person, and you need to see if you find hospital equipment, you be an Ghana, America. So I buy the equipment no America. I buy people who see the name of America. And so that is not equipment from America, not the Ghana. It's a buying foreign currency. When the government borrows foreign currency, it can use that money to buy that equipment that it doesn't have and ship it to Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes buying the foreign currency. And now I buy the back Ghana, you ton near my right, say you ton near me, you cook me, you box and you go, you ton among me. Even that's our foreign currency. That's our foreign currency now. Now say you got equipment there, you need to export money, and then the IF can the balance of trade. This is Canadian and you need to you get goods and services there, you need to put your suppliers now balance out. But the three are balance out. Almost a quick problem there. In the also it's a balance of trade deficit, balance of trade surplus. It can also add it to the equation, and then that is how the debt evolves over time. Over time, the debt situation, evolves. What Jessica will need, so the cost about 10 years, and Jessica now, so the end and also same there. It's not over a kind of over time. In a nutshell, in the simplistic way, it's how countries generate debt.
All right. Quick one. We bet Messi balance of trade. The balance of trade near. Oh, nyoma o ton. And now we dey see our one. How is that done? Pacho be church in Mukakra.
So, in the simplest time, Ghana in one country. If you have a Tom and Libiano, if you Ghana and you're recording in Ghana's name, right? We are recording transaction for Ghana. It doesn't mean say Ghana buying the but as say if you Ghana it is recorded under the sovereign name Ghana. Say Ghana exported this particular good to at the end of the day, we have a national accounting. We have to see how many goods and services Ghana exports to the rest of the world. And what is the value of those goods and services? Can we say what they export to the rest of the world? You earn foreign currency from those countries, right? And that is how, that is the cost of your foreign reserve, your foreign money. You earn them in foreign currency. And then, as I say, they exporting, exporting cold crumbs. I know also export Ghana's perspective, yeah, we say import. Yes, we are importing them by crumbs.
Right.
Inti, you can almost import it by almost be here Ghana city, right? Or the try by or but or on Ghana city name could be crumbs and could and so convert Ghana city into
dollars. And then the crumbs okay.
It's here that is not Ghana. That is not enough for now. We can balance it out like that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But different times, the offer and the
Yes, sir.
But out in course. It's now in fact, you have more dollars to be able to pay people out.
Okay. And then the trade deficit in the ban.
It is our balance, you get the trade balance of trade deficit, the surplus, the current account deficit, surplus, animal, and
surplus in that just say like your time my scanner broso. It be to my biaka. And
I will see the uncle see the uncle for no more person. If you not surplus now, don't be on the reserve because you are more for currency, right? But that deficit piano, let us say the time we have to take money.
Okay. It's that would be that would be under with external debt and
we have one source.
Right.
Multiple sources of the debt. Another source, so we can go directly and borrow money from the international market or from another country. That hey, we want to embark on this project. Can you loan us money? And that country will just loan you directly money. And then you can go to the IMF, international. They said you're going to offer banking. Your banker, a war international community, or more than sovereign countries and individuals, or more than sovereign countries, states. The World Bank is one of them. IMF is one of them. International banks they lend money to governments of other countries. You can go there and lend money directly, or in the case of Ghana, go to the capital market where there are private people, individuals who have their own money that are looking to invest in places. You can go and appeal to them and give them a reason why they give you money to go and invest in the country, and then you them. And then they're from the bonds. You issue a bond,
right?
They'll give you their money individually. And when it's time, go and pay them back. There are people out there who are into this business of lending money and making profit from those lending activities.
Okay.
But there's a whole
bond is it like an international treasury bill?
Exactly. You can look at it in that sense. Exactly, an international treasury bill.
Okay.
What we do domestic and international. But there's the difference is that treasury bills are usually they are less than 1 year for the most part. They are short instruments. But bonds, they're usually more than a year. Some are 10 years, some are 5 years, some are 3 years. The duration and the length of time is different. But we can look at any now at that basic level. But yes, the nature of one is long term, the nature of the other one is short term.
Okay. Now, a domestic, a Ghana, Yana Cheska, Yaisika. And it's a Abayana Sika, I don't know, no one can add to Sanko Bobusan will be all.
All right, that is a very good question. Not sure what you say. Maybe you ask that question. I buy any trend this cash. I think I'll buy a couple of you know. There's something out. Of course, in finance, you can and in life, you can't eat your cake and have it, right?
Right.
You can eat your cake and have it. Yes, I think the money to make don't get me wrong. I money to make can, but you can't do it unlimitedly. You can't do it forever because no so implications. There were other negative effects. So one money, yeah, it may be also more problems than the thing we are solving. More example.
Okay.
She can't come system. No, we have economics. She can't come system. No. Yeah, she can in such a way say she can and match up to the level of the value of goods and services in that economy. Intimacy can be a world economy. It has to match up to the level of the value of goods and services. Productivity on the amateur. At the same margin. So the best can a very valuable. She can afford a very meaningful. So she can grow the level of value and productivity in your country. You have a lot of money in the system chasing what? Fewer goods. And that is why I actually say more money chasing fewer. If the Bema Sikana purpose now is she can't serve, and service our purpose, and they will lose the value because then you need more money to just buy few goods. People will lose confidence in that currency. It will create more problems that are even bigger than you think you are just printing money to buy goods. You will do it short term, but you can't do it over a long time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't say buying or printing.
It is a high inflation. Zimbabwe funya na sikana no more printing. More printing gumana.
Right. Yeah, don't print goods and services never economy. The value if you are $3 per in value term, but what print is $10. It is extra $7 for system in Zimbabwe. What do you think is going to do? You are going to look for goods and services that are not there. So I went to remember she can hold this one. And it serves so many purposes. It's a store of value, property, right? It serves so many purposes. Into where are not well read purpose of money, the store of value. Why money? When we are now confidence, they will start dumping your money and looking for foreign currency. But they need to store their wealth in some other currency. And I find the dollarization. People start dumping your CD to look for other currencies that are stable, that have good value.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Money, I want limitation. You have to do it. You have to make it appropriate. It won't cause or design. Like I said, more money is chasing fewer goods in the system and causing a lot of other problems for government to resolve.
Okay, and now that we've got the basic understanding of debt, Ghana, you're the car, and I the car saying.
But so car, fuck Ubia can now share. Yes, with me about Canada, 220 billion Ghana cedi. But as we sound so what is the source of that debt? Ekabiano the source. Ekabia one in church na chassis baby feedback. It is what is a canon the source of be feedback added to a canon now making sense of Sikano a Canada one. Won't you know a Canada 220 billion now because we had the Kasake. Now all share the Sake on Facebook now we done to. Example by America the cap with the China can be. But as I would take the source and the nature of Saikano. As now America come with you because we dance a be Jimmy Sabi. I know some of the Casa. But the people about say cannot America for the China and young people who will somewhere in the same way, no more better more going forward than sell money in the Sa. Into Casama. Don't just take I saw mortgage, right? What they cap. Then France mortgage 450,000.
Right.
But we have to understand the source of Saikan. And I also a mortgage. internet so more than this you na say Japan be you inti you can say this so boom because a cano will be supporting I say the answer will I make sense that is the best option you have given all the other options. It is prudent to have that money than everything else at that point in time that you got that debt. This is the fundamental concept. Then we can now look at just the face value of a cano and then start talking about, is it prudent for us to have that debt and why is it not prudent? And is there some level of the debt now? Say you avoid it, and I avoid it. We can start digging into the sources of second now and then put it all together and make sense. Who is managing our debt properly? Are they managing it, prudently? Is there sense in the way they are managing it? Does it make sense that we have to have this account given the situation? We can look at all those aspects.
Okay. It's a question, Bisa. I think I got it partly answered. Now, me person say to say no. Can I know? Later, me Bisa say the castle. I wanted to know whether can I is more of a in a domestic character, and I say a external debt now. And
yeah, they can almost 220 and 30 billion Ghana.
Okay.
It's almost half. 50% domestic, about another 48. And it's 52 domestic, 48% is about external.
Wow.
So I can't know. That is the composition of a kind of rough. I think those numbers are right and correct. I think domestic and then 48 external. But I must say I can. These are as of the but those numbers keep changing because we are still growing, right? But roughly, that has been the structure of a channel. We've always kept it at this level, half, roughly half. 50% domestic, 48% international or external.
And now, can we say it can be good or it can be bad depending on what you're investing in. Ghana. What would you say? Is it a good car? Now, I say a car and farm more
They are depending on where you stand and where you are coming from, and that's where the politics of the debt becomes crucial, right? One party, one person can look at the kind of casino. The car will be there for fee in the cash at then. And 1 month for so I buy a wasting time. I'll go back and so because you're near canon for so. The buying is not managing our debt properly. The empower buying because you can see the or the cabin and accounts are managing any good source, any DBA supporting them. I wouldn't say I can like make catch on. And yet individuals not on your mind, it's in the name of Ghana. Individuals are not there or they are there. That debt will remain in the name of Ghana. While it remains Ghana. And that is where the citizens have to be aware. And where is this man? Where is the source of the debt? What is it being used for? They have to be informed. If they are not informed, I'm sorry. I can't be responsible for your ignorance about what your leaders are doing. That is why you vote for them. You have to hold them accountable. You have to let them explain to you what it is that they are using the debt that they are generating to do. Omokasi, you perceive what we say near hospital $5. Hospital, you say $5. Hospital, no machine. What question there $5? So what you want to say and found Pakachi was my couple bush see hospital $5. Now hospital no see you. I'm going to make $3. No, Pakachi was $5. Who now we are my one as I can hear because I don't know or act in the name of Ghana. Or China only one of us I can hear and fancy a bear Ghana food in Aka. I buy so and to the car or better have a tax them no or better have a tax
right.
Like I said, no, we all have to be keepers of what the source of the debt is, and whether the government that manage it or not, because they talk about my buying, whether they are managing it properly, and whether it makes sense for them to even have that debt. That is why you have the power to determine who becomes your government and how they manage those debts. In democracy, it requires a lot of average educated people who are informed about what government is doing with their monies, how they're generating this debt, and what they're using it for. If you don't get people who are tracking government and how government is doing with the data, I'm sorry, I won't be responsible. No government, nobody in the world will be responsible for the irresponsibility of your government as to how they manage their debt. It has to be a Ghana problem. It has to be the citizens' problem. It has to be every taxpayer's concern. Every taxpayer must hold officials accountable for how they generate this debt and how they use this debt. And there's a lot of conversation about it. Obia when I say can I boy and I'm boy. See a bunch of now be so depend on the dependent fever. With my cash account where I'm boy. If you are no feelings and the same hospital, you could be found by hospital. If you could if you are asked to test you or if you are Medina. Or Felicia no, so I can who find the bear and get some of the bomb crew number there, Lord, and I'm the bear hospital. It's one was the same that Obi natural say me and Camunian say, Obi Spanish and Camunian say, Obi who determines how we must use that money. That is where politics come in. It is the leaders that you elect and what vision and policy that they have that will determine how they use those monies. So how do you come in as an individual? It is you only come in when you elect them. So when you elect them, what they are saying is I'm giving the authority to go and generate those monies and use it for what you told me you were going to do. It's a system, or a one-day self-check mechanism. If I self-check mechanism now, then I'm sorry.
Hey, Nana, my question. Say, I saw a idea. It is a elected government. What we've actually done is giving the government a carte blanche check to do whatever he wants. Don't we have some mechanisms that we can the typical things a bushing with the man kobo. And as once I elected a union, they no.
I use that in the general terms, but even within the government, the way government are set up across the world, there's nothing like a blanket check. About our checks and balances. Anything a system now country they are setting up, your checks and balances. I buy big yeah. I do call the people's representative. I do call parliament. Parliament on no party back for penny or a party for our win I do on. That is the check and balance. I get it to our buying say, you need to make us say, I like to discard it. We discard the door for chess and conform. No more verti, no more proof. This is a parliament that every week. Can imagine what this means.
Right.
So, with me because parliament is a week or winning the Omoye. So I can go up. Parliament is not betting it and doing what they're supposed to do. Because the system was created that way to let Parliament check that government. Anything that Mambo is serious business, it is not because it is one of the mechanisms by which you control how the government generates debt on behalf of the citizens.
Wow. It makes very good sense. And everybody should is personally responsible for Sikayebo because so elected parliamentarian now, you're actually sending your representative. It is a abaye kwakobo bosia. No deba na or representative no kajon so bosia with their is you are indirectly sitting your home and saying bosia na what so because your representative has accepted it. Wow.
That is why politics is a serious business. That is why power, you don't joke with power because it has bigger implications on the decision-making process of a country and how that can generate into good debt or bad debt. And in politics, and if you don't understand, say this is the setup by which countries are run. Now they ought to say family one. Yes, individually, no, it might not affect you now. But about boss account to over time. I feel be tell me yes, it's kind of about the tax one now say I'm found. So what
Right. Wow. This hits real close to home. It's wow. Obviously say, oh, na say cardiac from Kwame Nkrumah time. Ya bok bosia bo obi a mbegyina me do ano. Embo mu say me metuaka. Na omo kra brofo kra ka say metua say omusika mo nwa say okafu didi. Etino ye busande bo an ebe bo hwe nyen. Is there some kind of consequences of say obeboka obebobusia manabroso? And is there anything I say my bobusia manabroso? Government no limits. Basically, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, come your consequence. I can't Obama Nicolas and Minoa. A bit me out. So I'm here. A bit me how I say. I feel better tell me won't be able to do my baby. Or what they can tell me coming the Yuru Kutiaka. Into think about that situation. What Bokama can meno. We are things you only can so try so good chunk of my dome. I went to your car. Can also meet me up with Japadia woman. Meet me you give. Be a Ghana play two from America, beat me in America. Yeah, when was America? Or meet me at the work court. They said they would be personal to do court and my bench on. It's and the essential or my yes, Anna, said you won't be out the car. We are not about
David.
I was want to meet the I because one purpose. Because Bosia body and we have into what we say if effect implication or by be a person wedding or because our bad effect him say baby time will be engineering body Bosia or no baby could be near Tatan. It can mean why implications be great. Our long term effect. Now bit make us want you. Yes, I jump on ye be moment I jump on from literally be Ghana so. I know I can say I food the country are in Ghana. One day I food in the bag. And no, I say you can be a double in the Yentia. And one so for a short time, oh, not a good man. But after some time, no, the who's and all. When you I feel do honor or you know, yes, you end up in the farming, you end up be but
domestication.
Ibu ha ibu ha je kwa mo no kofa ba e bi bia e bitimi aye ni na kan iti be do tell me na for kwa mo na kofa ba wona ne be ma ta bo no country bia
Right.
Ashwile no na for ho kire o hu san hwe ya ho kire be ba short term no de na ye but long term na ye sustainable, so he eventually had to give in and then we had to start paying our debts again. It you know Ghana ya experiment is hardly be that say na o ka se o ka for the meet ya you know, the political because or see a cup with the Tiaka. I'm or the Ghana experiment. I'm bound but and yes, sustainable.
Right.
Or reverse it. The account about like question says, wouldn't have a now no. We can't even think like that.
Yeah, you can't even say that. Yeah. I think what we're gonna do without a champion, BBN who I want try. It's you know we have him to give us all the examples that we need. Oh, okay. To say no. Let's look at Ghana. Ghana cut about 220 billion Ghana cedis. That is a lot of money. Now, Sasikano say your boss Sasikano your boss and your boss free. Kwame Nkrumah time I be drew sisi and say boss and aban we nkwa abono.
Oh, boss I bought from Kwame Nkrumah place so I family. You know, that is the aggregate. The aggregate debt. But sad comes to American. We bit me teaching you say Kwame Nkrumah yes na na wo aban bia do bit me teaching mu wasisi aban bia do the can so on bit me bisa so Kwame yes na na wo after Kwame Nkrumah one of them aban bia about the bia no bit me teaching mu you know so aban bia dey to say you can decompose the debt based on all the governments that we've had over history, and then you ask yourself, say, aban bia ban no boka who sign our boy and that's the boy no was it prudent? It didn't get home for sure. The source of it didn't make sense. Analyze all that if you are minded.
Okay, you better but before we get in, Ghana as a country, to see yeah, Bobo there. What do we use the money? Like the chunk of the money, your boy, then you're there.
Very good question. It's that is a question that electorates, citizens, responsible Ghanaians, everybody who care about the future of Ghana, who care about the generation yet unborn, needs to be asking their government. And this is where it becomes critical. Say, the people of every country needs to be very watchful and aware about that. Ghana, you can be some share there. Let me appoint you over a budget now. If you want to know first, a candidate there, go to your budget. O budget now, buy a Fibian, about say, can be saying, I made the beach pine, made the hospital, made the Dama for school, made the bit Chiaka, made the baby week. I buy the chain now, the old candidate. Because it can be a brand baby and a bunch of this guy. And it's all chase you can do, the bay not parliamentary. They approve it. But the question is value for money. So they are buying it, share the budget. The fact so they actually budget doesn't mean say you had good value for that money, right? You can put things in the budget, but then you might be spending more than you're supposed to spend on a particular project. Right. So you have value for money. You should have spent $5 on the project. You ended up spending $8. If you keep doing that over a long period of time, you are causing inefficiency in the debt, right?
Right.
You have to spend $5, and because you are not managing how your projects work, you end up spending $8, and you keep doing that time and time over time, repeating that process over a long period of time. You are accumulating extra money that you don't see the value for. In the short term, you might see it over a long period. No, that is a lot of inefficiency in the debt that is putting on the people. And so you see that the quality of your government and how they allocate this money, how they spend this borrowed money, makes a lot of difference in the life of a country. The quality of the government, the understanding of Sasma and over time, how this government have behaved in terms of how they handle these resources speaks a lot about the quality of the debt that you have in your country. If you want to know countries are coming on now, just look back to their leaders. It's a reflection of the leaders in fact over their history. Countries are more just look at their leaders. It will give you a good idea about the quality of the leaders they've had and the economic management team of the country over the history.
Wow. And to say no, you heard this year budget. I don't know if you can speak to that. Can you in estimated percentages actually say ABR budget no ABR yeah they move 10% equity yeah kaya de na the rest and the bay put to Juma. How much of the Busan Yabon and I edit your debt and which how much and you use it for Puntu Juma?
Kwame, to worry sincerity, I can't imagine. And the one, yeah, also particularly is down interest. So, into first, buying catcher and say you could Sakana Yadin enough from Cromwell so the Pums Andrew win. If you are any chance, you Ibu na esi etua e kana nkasa na aba no esi etua nti the aban ye ne say aban ye ne hihya ya wo ye na analysis no especially time ye ko IMF la no na tika aban ne chua ye di fi amount for taxes ni na e bia ne $100 taxes na aban ne dey $100 not to say $100 ye emu san ye do kutua e kanu nsi mu aban ye analysis no na it will be 80% of $100 now for the $80 equity.
Yeah, the kutia interest in keke principal and count.
Principal and count. I remember on the call now.
Wow.
The India buying to an Mumbia. I don't know what he has here, but I'll come there in the real quick. Into what I say, what $100? She can't do woman for you now $100. Now, so as I'm saying about over the period, you know, and but also says I am going to put yeah, $80. In the community, now $20 spend this already. What they bet me $20 no, and to your work as a car. I provide electricity, I provide insurance, I provide coin, I provide any money now. You can't. You know, as I'm saying to $10 so already. What extra? And they become $20 now. Can so they are insurance, ne coin, ne akretia, ne hospitals, ne. Bibia person will be our country no question. And yes, your country will not have the needed development. It needs you. It will take you, and that is why it will take us a longer period to be able to fully develop our country because I can't in the structure. I'm not saying that all the somebody has to work it down. So that they are. The baby tell me, I say to me like 40%. It is a which interest 40%. Let us say $100, I got $60, right? It gives you a little bit of fiscal consolidation. And a bank can go for fiscal consolidation. It gives you more room for you to be able to do a lot of other things. But so squeezes are there now. So window now, you won't have more room to be able to do development. Or if you have more room, you have to do it at an expensive cost, which is go and borrow to add up. And as you borrow, the debt is what? It's going up.
Right. So at this trajectory, no, the more I borrow, no, now your interest, no, so don't we have a plan to just pay off the debt? And I say,
oh, Kwame, it's a very good question. Yes. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to pay off your debt quickly. Sometimes it makes sense to pay it off quickly, right? You know, think about I saw mortgage go away. It doesn't make sense. Which you it only be opportunity in balance or refinancing mortgage, you know. So on the mature refinancing. So the mortgage somebody will say may refinance now for but I from is one bit on our friends say they meet you at the day. So one would it's about a number so I didn't so and then I buying what friend say debt liability management. I buy the drink and say debt liability management. It's there I buy way there and they say so I push and boy can international treasury bonds now can I bind by no say come on I'm just abusiano so time no me hwe Ghana ya ho de market no ne channel na interest on the man be na 5% and 7%. But in there I mean okay say wo ko sa market na so bi na ko boss abusiano na bi so can na bi you more like 3-2%. You know let say sika pro na you go force market so the boy the IF into the about and say which because okay any me ba net ba be bobusia kese na me bobusia kese na esimu na wo ho den e wo fam and na me boss bosia na nda extend period no SMB to na be extend up ni kakra no what say sika do kutia e ka de na okoboy na esimu no so no right if you let a chance say what carry new account with new interest no I want them now with period no try the account
I
It's no
think.
say interesting. It's one that's what transfer the akofem. It is one of them. I feel $100 taxes. So $80 is you want. So see you $60 is you for creative space a man, and he can now spend.
Oh, okay. And
then Ama Osha Kenofurata has been going to the bond market consistently because he's using that approach to refinance all our expensive debts that we took in the past. Send the way he can add the expensive funds and replace them with cheaper funds now. But at the same time, he will get an extended period, a long period of time that will give him room to be able to work himself out and pay.
Right. But like with this short conversation we've had now, so can I just say we don't have any plans of paying out the debt. I say I could grow and yet I could create the ideas because a year now you postpone the coin.
Yes, to some extent you postpone anything I critical say you postpone enough space. I see a number here, ever my capacity, ever my creative value in our economy. Send we'll have a future, we'll create future potential capacity to be able to produce goods and services that we can sell and pay these loans. We have to be able to invest in our oil sector, take the oil out quickly and get the money. We have to be able to invest in our people. Send in the future, our people become valuable. They can bring us foreign exchange contribution. We can export human resource. We have to be able to invest in things like that. Now we've built capacity for our people. We build the systems that will enable us to generate more value and then be able to pay these loans.
Right.
Capacity. Investing in the systems that will enable us to reduce cost in our country, that will bring value in our road system, that will bring productivity. We'll have to find this same approach. How can we extend it over and over? And the quality of the government that you get from now till when those debts are due, it's very key to determine
very important. Right. So in layman's term, I say, Wako Bobosina. Wait my Bobosina, wait me Bobosina, their business. And I'll bet my Bobosina, their amount about school. You know, your Juma, Utiasa Bosana, Omre. Okay, that makes sense. Ceciano, Kai 220. And at this point, one the nana, I been saying wedding. The bedroom more, and then we postponed. Kai, What do you think Ghana should do now to be able to build our capacity now? By the time Sikano will be doing, it's not going to be a problem. What are we not doing? What have you seen? Yeah, no man I was saying, and I say you think there's more to be done.
Yes, and I wanna do a bar. Kwame, I know there's a think tank program, but you see, the economy is intertwined with politics. That is why you have to come politics from that angle. So one CSR, sometimes you mix the big picture. And given this media money, so we are this is the situation we are faced with. Anything I may talk about, Kwame, I have to pick which government has that ability to create that capacity for going forward. Because if I don't elect, and if I don't bring a government that has the capacity to create that, that have the potential and that capacity, expertise to create that opportunity for us going forward, Kwame, as a city, suits here, but given the market, one can say there will be a problem down the line, right?
Right.
You can get what you can. You don't have to be. You can know that there will be a problem down the line. There will be a own in Ghana. Among which share any sana nyama aircon. So had the information we own into the own market, and he's just relying on government whether they do the right thing or on the tweak. But me, I'm with information. I can begin doing things that will create capacity for me. So if you do want to buy the tax in the crown, it affects me because I know it's going to come down the line. Let's start telling you, maybe if you do want to, I'm prepared for it individually, and the impact on me will not be big. Men are not here, he doesn't know this. It won't go to work. I think maybe one now as a surprise, it will come to him, boom, hit him. He's not prepared for that situation, right? And, it creates more problems for the uninformed and those that do not have the capacity to be able to do anything around it. It creates more burden on them. It creates more public situations for them. Those that are well informed and know what to do, they can mitigate the impact downstream by doing things now that will give them capacity. So maybe one man will have the opportunity to be able to overcome it. That is at the individual level. Remember, at the government level. At the government level, you have to assess government, you need to understand, say, are we investing in the right places? Is he investing in the places that in the future will provide capacity? If two governments come to you, not more to 2 million, almost per power if you are. This is the critical question. You have to be looking at their policies, their manifesto, and asking yourself, the things not more come. Will it give us that capacity in the future to be able to overcome some problem? That is how you make informed decision. That is how you vote on government. Anything that when we talk about corruption, don't personalize it. The implication of corruption is that down the line, we won't have that capacity to pay those loans. And their problem, we'll run into this same problem of spending the debt. Into corruption is a big policy issue. If you have a government that is not managing that properly, you should be concerned because in the future, you are creating that problem down there for all of us. Second, the efficiency of government spending. Does your public service, is your public service efficient enough to manage projects so that you are getting value for money? It is our public service, and then they buy money and she say, now, I'm be efficiency. Like I told you, if they keep doing that over time, as inefficiency, it's also cost, right? It's burden up. It will create that problem down there. So you have to have a good public service that is efficient. You have to invest in the public service, retool them, use technology, invest in technology that will make some of these costs come down. So they are going down the line. You have a public service that can deliver or help government deliver on project at what reasonable, efficient cost, so that they don't overburden us with electricity in the system. I want to see a government that has a policy for that. The other thing we want to see a government that is investing in our oil wells, right? Because we have resources down there. We need to bring them out. What is the quality of the contract that your government is engaging in with foreigners? Is that quality contract value for money enough to be able to generate more revenue for you down in the future to pay this debt? You also have to look at the quality of government contract with foreigners that are engaged in mining your resources in your country. It's key. 4, Kwame William said minerals alone does not make a country rich. If that was the case, Ghana would have been one of the richest countries. What makes the country rich is the the quality of the human resource. Is your government investing enough in education? Is it investing enough in people's training? Is it investing enough in training people to have capacity down the line? If your government is not doing that, Kwame, it's not magical. 15 years, 20 years from now, if you haven't trained your people, you don't expect them to be good at doing anything.
No, you need experts for everything, and you have to pay them bare 4 or 5 times what you pay your citizens. Yep.
So you see that if you understand the problem, the solutions is not scientific and yet rocket science. You can tailor solutions over a period of time to resolve the problem. But can you say it's not going to happen short? You have to think short term, medium term, and long term. And that is how a government has to think over time. You don't just think short term, because the medium term will come, long term will come as well. Are you prepared in the long term? And indeed, I'm glad that I'm supporting a government that is investing that money in education, in IT, because those are the things that, for me, in my understanding of the problem, and where I sit in the global picture, I think that those are the right places that in the future will give us capacity, will give us the opportunity to be able to deploy these human resources, these IT folks, will bring down costs, will reduce the dead weight losses in our economy, will let us save. And then on top of that, if we're able to check our government to stop the corruption and make sure that there's accountability on this public official, we can save and we'll be able to what? Pay. Maybe one I cannot end yet a big problem. We can manage the debt properly. It's multiple of things that have to work together. If those things don't work together, and maybe one work good and the other one works so bad, they're drag you up. But in the zero-sum game, because you have to make all these multiple things work together on average over a period of time to give you that capacity and space and to give you that strength to be able to pay your debt. Kwame Name kind of said that is why you have a country like Japan. To GDP ratio is about 100 and something percent. Ghana debt to GDP ratio is about 76% now. But Japan, with only call the debt to GDP ratio and something, go and look at the quality of life in Japan for that same debt ratio, and go to Ghana and see the quality of life for a debt ratio that is 76%. So you see, it's not just the debt, the quality of the debt.
It's what you use the money for.
Right, the quality of the debt. America, GDP, debt to GDP, 100%, right? But over America, look at the quality of the life from that same debt. And they can tell you, anything I wish Joe Biden said, we have to invest in the things that will give us capacity in the future. Anything I wish the plan now, also we have to invest in broadband. Everywhere in America, they need to be broadband. We have to invest in our roads. We have to create this future capacity for us. Maybe in the future, we will have capacity to be able to repay them back. Otherwise, in the future,
wow. Hey, me now I'm on my book and say, okay, I say like all those factors should work in tandem because I don't think corruption. It started like corruption once again, and there has well, I would say some people have tried, but it keeps on persisting. I mean, government contract, government could see four bedroom house. He spends more than 5 times what a private individual would spend to build the same 5-bedroom house. It's okay, say like all of them has to work. I'm on more book because it seems corruption, the horizon have not even been seen yet.
Anything I've been known as citizens, we have to be. We have to be on our government. We have to be on our public officials. We have to let them know, sir, Kwame, power is with us. Because these are individuals. When you leave them and you don't check them, Kwame, they will corrupt themselves. It's like that everywhere. That's human nature. And it's part of the equation. See, if we want to develop, if we want to build a capacity for us in the future to be able to pay our national debt here, we have to effectively do a national police of our resources and of the leaders that we put who manage these resources. That is why the World Bank, all the other institutions, when they are giving money, they are mindful about signing more women now. They want to see improvement in all these things because and yet one thing, things have to work together to produce this momentum effect and capacity that I'm talking about. Otherwise, to be a zero-sum game.
Well, I think, I'll add this. I think, the citizens should know, election, parliamentarians, president, the election has not ended. It's still ongoing in the Parliament House every day. 18 Kromhano, Ubia on a senator number. He can call the senator's office and apply. Every individual can do that. Just pick up the phone and call the senator's office or your representative's office. 18 year 2 election year, man run sanko baby. is still ongoing. If you have to
probably,
put pressure on parliamentarian, find his number.
Yes.
If there's an election that's going to go on in parliament, call the office and tell them what you think.
Yes, it's very key. Kwame, I'll bring you to another point, just for you to know, so the way you structure a system can give you a certain conduct, and that conduct can lead to a certain performance. In economics, we call it structural conduct performance, SCP. Structure, the way you structure a system. So we engineer and always survey, whatever you want. The way you structure a particular system will induce a particular conduct, and that conduct will lead to a certain outcome performance. And, I can give an example. The engineer, the way you structure a bridge can induce a certain behavior on when people get to that bridge, how they have to drive. And depending on that behavior, it will produce a certain conduct that will lead to a certain performance of how the bridge will last longer.
Yes.
Politics, the way you structure your political system can lead to a certain conduct that can eventually lead to a certain outcome or performance that can be optimal, suboptimal, or very efficient. Let me use two systems to give you an example. Look at how America has structured their political system. They structured their political system in such a way, say, Kwame, Biden a winning election, right? But we hear on the parliamentarians now. I'm going to talk about more every 4 years, Biden at the same time. Even 2 years from now, the two now for Biden, but and you're about 2 years from now, right? Congress, 2 years from now, there will be election for some Congress members, not all of them, for some states, some districts, some Congress, and then we will go and vote on maybe 40% of the people, the Congress people. We will go and vote on them, and then we determine whether some of them will come back or not. Which means Biden can lose the majority of Congress. He can lose it based on the outcome of that election.
That's true.
Biden, or even that, he's mindful that midterm, there's an accountability on my parliamentarians, my Congress people. Maybe they have to be mindful that the people are going to give me a first view of my performance as a Democrat before even the 4 years come. Ghana also, they will get into one time. Now I change another 4 years. It's, one system that structure now we're creating. There's no midterm accountability to the president. Say, MPs need go parliament, yeah, say, we overlapping. It's been 4 years, second year in government. What do you think that would have done to Ghana? And Kevin MPs in the government.
Oh yeah, even some of his MPs will be pushing back on some of the things he wants to do.
Right, because there's a in terms of the structure now, also it's also one of the reasons why.
That's very true. It's very true.
A lot of good controls on the executive. And yes, I want to say, structure no. Yes, I blending it with executives and the parliamentarians all in one house. I answer there. Yes, and this are. One system that I found the advantage is what disadvantage, but yeah, before system that I found the advantage disadvantage seems to me more because of the actually the system that we have is also part of the inefficiency that in the long term we need to solve if we really want to get our government to be efficient and accountable. That is a long-standing issue. And a lot of people talk about constitutional reforms. It's one who said so many things must work together. And the American it ties back to the debt no. Because now, because I know one thing, you need efficient person, an efficient political system that knows how to put accountability around all the different areas that uses this money. So that we can save on this money and then not create unnecessary debt or inefficient debt that we will have to live to pay in the future. There's no free lunch requirement. That is the point that makes So the system that you put in place to police this revenue expenditure, it's key to whether your deficit will be meaningful, to whether your debt, the quality of your debt will be meaningful or not. And a lot of things have to work together. It's not just one thing.
Wow. Wow. So say
And
can they abo-
the other thing is the judgment debt.
right.
If the government don't know what they're doing and they're always getting judgment data. That is also one of the wastages, right?
Yeah.
You are piling up debt. So, Kwame, among one a serious business, they might be the home, as all tears here, now conducted now, and then it will make sense where we are today. And why some other countries are where they are today. If you go and check, they may have you see there are differences in the quality of these things that I've talked about that all work together.
Wow. Okay, so say no. Can Bosande Abo Yadeka 220 billion Ghana cedis. If you were hired as a consultant to the government on how he is going to pay the money out, what would be your advice? Which industry should he also need to? How is he going to raise that Sikano or expand his capacity? How is he going to expand his capacity? Let me put it this way.
Yes, Kwame. So one of the things is like we have been told that raw materials don't make countries rich. You have to add value to them, right?
Right.
So this is one factor. If we're able to invest rightly in that thing and we do it rightly, right, over the next 10 years, that should give us some extra capacity where we have value addition. Your cocoa now, they be a Kwame, your top, your producer Ghana, and they are exporting raw material. If we can trust, we can get companies from outside and use our cocoa as a leverage to tell them that we have all the resources here. Come and produce, bring your factory and produce here and export that. That would be a good way. Kwame, I'll say I'm bringing in automobile. I want to create an automobile industry. I want to create export cars to some neighboring countries or in the African continent. Say that by bringing these companies into Ghana, they are producing, they are adding value, they are creating capacity. You are building that capacity in the future. Now you need to incentivize them to come, but down the line, they are going to create value in your system. Kwame, Washa, if it be African trade, one of the biggest things that probably will help African countries that are smart and that know what they're doing. You see, I see African, you be a trader. Kwame, first, when I trade the amount, even though you're tipping by one, you do quite because I'm making the tariffs, because we are saying, you therefore, an African country, be an African country, no tariffs, be anyone. Kwame, say, the star, net trading among ourselves. Now, it's be exported to African countries, Kwame. That will create a big market for us. And countries that position themselves properly and take advantage of after now African Trade Commission zone now will be able to benefit from this big market. Kwame, another thing I say, the trade railway system, no, a bit may beat down a lot of our cost. Who say in the long term, if we able to get a good railway system in place, Kwame, we can reduce the cost expenditure that we incur on our road by repairing it constantly. And at the same time, we can quickly transport goods and services across our country. If you're able to save time in transporting goods and services, you are saving money. If you do that over time, that is savings you are getting. So you need to be investing in these things over a period of time. You won't see it all now. You also need to make sure, say first, you need to be a manual. You bet if you feel have a senior ministry. That is cost. And if they did good loss, it's cost you could have avoided by just sitting at your internet from your home and do it because you don't have to use petrol, waste petrol and travel. So our petrol now when you now yes, we can channel that petrol into some industries that might need that fuel efficiently. You driving from your home to go to ministry and burning that fuel just to do a government business. That fuel now we haven't really efficiently used it. We could have used it another way by giving it to some factory people to produce goods and services and let you sit in your home and get that same service using the internet. But that doesn't happen by mouth. You have to create that internet infrastructure in your country. So you have to invest in these things. You just can't use your mouth to talk about them. Into government has to create an IT environment that will make some goods and services easy. You can access it anywhere in the country without having to travel and saving some of it. So you got efficiency in public spending. These are some of the things we are talking about. Efficiency in public spending. You have to be spending your money wisely in these things, and over time together, they will come together to create that saving, reduce debt loss and expenditure in the system, create efficiency in the system, and then you put capacity. That way, with the car, you don't have to worry because you've created the capacity, you've invested in the right places, you've invested in the right things. So you're confident you can handle that economy. But if you don't do this thing, you can never acquire corruption. I'm afraid. And yeah, rocket science. When the time of reckoning comes, you will have to squeeze your people. You have to suffer through it to pay. And no country will be responsible for your irresponsibility to do what was right before.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point the Ghanaian society are aware say abang boka ye case in point, free electricity, need free water. You enjoy during the pandemic, you know. They say abang says so niska. It say ya need to. We understand now. Now we understand. Say abang boka ye need to. And to say abang kobobo siya dia bibia, you know. You should be aware. We should ask questions. You know, and I think one man is very, very, very clear to us. It's corruption and still me say if eradicating corruption and I'm afraid we're going to be here for quite some time because corruption is there.
I think some people are fighting say let's pass the right to information bill. And we look at them together that they are working together and they're one thing. You have to do multiple things together to get an effect. First, man, I buy information will be at in the small corner what kind of information. So what have you got to hide if you are doing the right thing?
Yeah.
You say, you don't have to provide information right now. But over time, that information when you provide it, it shouldn't cause any harm, right? Into right information, and also that why my journalist for my mom they must have corruption and I'm waiting here fighting. So you needed that law, you needed that policy in place, so that those that are watchdogs can do their job to police the system and to police these politicians. So that we can save money for our country. You also need journalists that are doing the right thing, because journalists want to confirm information it will not augur well. You might not have that capacity to go and dig into things. Anything if there's anything that threatens or harm a journalist from doing the job, you will never ask them for no. It's a high because they are doing a job that will serve in their interest down the line. If you think that a government threatens journalists, now if a journalist depends on whether then you don't understand ecosystem now. We need to go to be able to provide that capacity for ourselves. A journalist work serves millions now, so we have to protect that journalist for him to provide that information, put light on government, and make sure that we have the accountability. We can reduce that corruption. We're creating that capacity for ourselves in the future. And then I'm saying the quality of these things that you do together is what will enable to give you that future capacity that will enable you to be able to handle sad debts in the situation we're in now. You can analyze it and say if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense.
It absolutely makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
The tools and how you have to look at these things. And if you can look at it from that angle, then you can't see me go on here. Then you have to be very concerned. If indeed you love your country and you are nationalistic and you want to see everybody improve, everybody become better. And then you're one person when I say make them more into the farmer by taxing. If that is the kind of lifestyle and can be fished Ghana from the level, they don't care, right? I buy up tax you maybe you'll meet you after a while. But that is not how you build a country. You don't build a country on just a few people. You have to build it so that they will be for the most part. Don't beat me at home. Don't beat me live your life in a very decent life.
All right. Now, Miss Science, like Bibia, I buy Alpha Bibia to so say infrastructure here in Charlotte. Yeah, 85. The freeway was built by a private person. Or did you toast to get his money back? It is our problem, no? Although say we the citizens are going to pay for the road at the end of the day, no, it's not the government of Charlotte that had to go and borrow money to come and build it. When you're sure, says, I have no money be if we open our market for individuals to play some parts in it. Instead of saying be our government, you saw our government, electricity our government, infrastructure our government. Can't we just open it up near my individuals so and be able to take some of the burden off the government? And I said, you know, could see why.
Yeah, Kwame. And you know, one said, you know, Kasame said, the quality of the leadership and the government and the innovation that comes from that government can determine a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because what did you mean about this unrepresentable citizens? So that government has to be thinking, has to be creative, has to be thinking about innovative solutions that can create space and provide capacity in the economy. That is a question we have to be asking our government, that why are you not being innovative, engaging some private individual that have money sitting somewhere that will want to invest in these things and going into smart contract. I mean, underline the word smart. Contract, not dumb contract. You have a government that is dumb and doing dumb contract. They said your energy capacity, you consign a lot of energy, you don't need that. You would have signed this contract, but ever signed the capital now, bro. So on with their better on. The nature and quality of the contract that you sign with this private investor is it's as important as your debt and how you accumulate your debt over time. Anything I hear, people they are complaining say our government don't know how to negotiate. That has been one of the conversations in the political sector. Say our government are very bad at negotiating contracts. And if you have a government that's bad at negotiating contracts, the long term effect is that you are not getting the optimal benefit from those arrangements. You are creating inefficiency that is adding up as debt over time, and you are only burdening your people over time. But in the short term, you won't see because you don't have that technical, you just think so. But if you accumulate that over time, that is a lot of mess you are putting down for the people. Yes, we can engage private people in a very smart, innovative way that will bring, I don't know from the PPP, private partnership agreement, that will bring a win-win game for them and at the same time bring some relief to our people. But Kwame, the nature of those contracts, it's key. And do our people understand how to get into such innovative contract that don't overburden the public with debt, but at the same time provide optimal benefit for everybody? That is where quality of leadership comes in. They don't know what they're doing. Kwame, I don't know. Maybe
it's
some
a
of our
problem.
government do something. It's an issue of quality of leadership and the public service and whether they know how to negotiate this contract on our behalf. Otherwise, Kwame, we'll just be giving money to the private sector and the public sector will be stuck with debt.
Wow. And I also think that there's a lot of holes within our system. The public sector is not very efficient. Yeah, I mean, we share even the amount of people that government employs to do these jobs that the private company will use just about a quarter of the people that the government employs to do these jobs. I mean, Magufuli, Tanzania, was able to reduce his debt just by streamlining the way government works. And I think Kufuor did it. Well, he tried to do it. So Kaya, ghost names, trying to get ghost names off. I don't hear that again. The government,
there's a little bit caveat. Born now. Kwame, I'm saying, if you're a private businessman, it makes sense to do them right. It's easy, it's logical, it's reasonable, it saves you cost. But when you're a governmental, Kwame, they be from the political economy. Sometimes the decisions that you take are not purely based on sound economic principles. Sometimes they might be based on some other considerations other than sound economic principle because of the political nature and power at play. into Kwame, it is something that every government has to manage. Political power and doing the right things. Sometimes doing the right thing necessarily doesn't mean you have political power. There's this trade-off here, Kwame. And if you say African countries, a high because we haven't developed better institutions. We struggle a lot with that process. Do we have to do the right thing and lose power, or just play ball and win power and keep playing ball and win power? Unlike Hanum, they've developed institutions over time, right? The system is there to do some of these things. Kwame, there's a war between what political actors are required to do and what they actually end up doing. Because sometimes, Kwame, it's not based on sound economic principle per se, but it's based on political considerations. That may not be economically sound, or that a private person would not have done if you were just looking at private business, purely business interest. But where you mix sound economic principle with political power, then you begin to lose some of the efficiency of the decision-making process, because you are now considering political power as against efficiency of spending. And sometimes government will spend on things that are not efficient. A private person will not do. But government is doing that because the end goal is not necessarily to get that efficiency, but to get a political advantage.
Right. Wow. So it's not as easy as it sounds on paper.
Right. So there's a lot of
there's a lot of balls to be juggled.
Right, in this whole process. And that is why we all need to police ourselves to make sure that we can check all government from not being too wasteful with those political decisions that don't necessarily help all of us. But Kwame, like I said, you need smart, informed citizens to be holding government accountable and to be holding political parties accountable to avoid some of these things. Otherwise, Kwame, I'm afraid some of these things interfere in the process and drags us behind.
Wow. Okay. Right. I think all too soon. Our time is getting close, and we might have to just pause here and continue with this discussion next week, because I have so many questions to ask yet still, but the time is fast spent. And with the Medawasi, Nanaya, we will just put a stop here, and then next week we will discuss a bit more about this same topic. Hopefully, we will get a couple of our resource persons to come, because we are going to get more into the political terrain. Now you compare government after government after government. Now you who did what and how how everyone is trying to approach a solution. I will be added, but trying to get this over and done with. Next week, hopefully you'll be available for us, and I think I've got a few people. Okay, send your mom message me say almost other solutions than what you're saying. Next week now, we know my baby shower had, and we do a debate, and at the end of the day, get some education out of it. Thank you very much for coming on to this.
Yeah, other people know this is why we need to have this discussion. So we're not anymore. And hopefully when we get them on, we can analyze on the position of vis-a-vis our situation. And then our listeners out there will make these choices are better and why. And this is why this debate is very important. I wish that we'll get them on this week, and hopefully we'll get our other panelists, because we can have different viewpoints and how people are seeing the same problem in different angles, and then we'll see which one is the way out. I hope this has provided some release for our people to understand.
For me personally, I've been very well educated. Like normally, it has some link to the death of Ghana, and then why establishing say from everything from the politics to everything, it's all linked to the economy. It's people have to be very educated and to abema some kind of before you apply your thumb, you have to think about some few things and see whether you are either solving a problem or you're just compounding. Thank you very much, Nanaya, and thank you very much, viewers and listeners. Next week, same time, we are going to meet here. It's Bye bye.